From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
It's Tuesday, October 13th, and right now on Good Morning Indiana.
It allows there to be an added layer of accountability for the police department.
Changes are coming to the board overseeing Metro Police, developing overnight the vote paving the way for police reform.
I literally don't have anywhere to go at the moment.
Hoosiers remain at risk for eviction despite a federal protection in place to help renters. This morning, WRTV is breaking down the information you need to know. Plus, are you ready to shop? Amazon's Prime Day is here, and we're helping you get the best deal possible.
And we do want to thank you for joining our team here at 6 o'clock on Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey, and my pals Todd Clausen and Rafael Sanchez also standing by with me this morning. Rafael, good morning.
Good morning, Lauren. We are following some breaking news this morning. There's an apparent shooting near 62nd and Allisonville Road. We're being told that the person is in serious condition. We're monitoring that this morning. We'll have the very latest as it comes into the WRTV newsroom. But in the meantime, let's check in with Todd Clausen. Well, it'll be a nice, cool Tuesday here in central Indiana. Good morning, TK.
Yeah, you're walking out the door to temperatures in the 30s and 40s this morning. A big difference compared to yesterday. And with the rain that we saw yesterday afternoon and evening, and now the skies clearing, that moisture out there turning into a little bit of patchy, dense fog. So just be aware of that this morning as you get going. It's not super dense. There's no advisories out there, but it could cause a few minor issues on the roadways, especially as you work your way here through Shelbyville down towards Columbus. That's where the visibilities have been the lowest throughout the entire morning. But you can see as you look across the campus of IU here in Bloomington and you look at the lights and you notice there's not too much fog here in Monroe County. So that is good news for you as far as those temperatures go. Here you are, 39 in Lafayette this morning, 37 in Terre Haute, 43 in Indianapolis. Definitely need to grab the jacket as you get going. This little band of rain, that was the cold front that went through yesterday, now pushing through western Pennsylvania, and we'll have a sun-filled day for us from start to finish. Just be a little patient in spots this morning for that fog to burn off. Once it does, it's a sunny morning, sunny afternoon. We quickly warm from the 40s through the 50s into the 60s with high temperatures eventually, Lauren, topping off in the low 70s across most of the area.
All right, Todd, thank you. Let's take a look at traffic as you're heading out the door this Tuesday morning. Over here on the west side, no problems. So if you're on I-465, I-74, maybe traveling through parts of Hendricks County to get to Indianapolis, you shouldn't have any issues. Of course, we'll continue to keep our eyes out for any crashes or delays, and we'll keep you updated. Rafael?
Lauren, new this morning, a plan to give citizens more say in police policy and oversight has been approved by the Indianapolis City County Council. WRTV's Kelsey Anderson, she joins us live this morning with what this means for you and everyone who lives in Marion County. Kelsey?
Hey, good morning. So it was a late night last night here at the City County building as the City County Council discussed many things, but most people listening in for what's going to happen with Proposal 237. And just before midnight last night, they voted in favor of the proposal 19-6. So the plan adds 4 civilians to IMPD's General Orders Committee. That committee is tasked with overseeing the department's policies and procedures, including everything from uniforms to internal affairs and deadly use of force investigations. Rick Snyder, the president of the Indy Fraternal Order of Police, says while he welcomes civilian input, the proposal goes too far in stripping the chief of police of their power.
We welcome civilian input in that perspective at the table, but let's not destroy clear lines of authority, and I keep saying this, accountability for a singular person, the chief of police. You now don't have a chief of police. You have an advisor in police that provides advice to this board, but this board will direct the police department. And it's alarming to know that it can be done with people who have zero law enforcement background.
Now, we also spoke to Pastor Clyde Posley of Faith in Indiana, who is in favor of the proposal. He says it's a step in the right direction of rebuilding trust between the community and the police, saying, quote, "I think that the cornerstone of an great democracy is shared governance." Now, an amendment was added to the proposal last night that says residents with a felony conviction cannot serve on the board. They also added that board members would have to go through the Citizens Police Academy plus other trainings. That way they can better understand law enforcement practices and policies. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
Right now, we are following breaking news on this Tuesday morning. Metro Police on the scene of a shooting in the city. This on Bordeaux Court. This is near 62nd and Allisonville Road on the city's north side. These are the images now coming in to the WRTV newsroom. One person, we are told, was taken to the hospital in serious condition. Arshay Goodpastor is on the scene working to learn more information. We'll bring you that information and the very latest as soon as we have it. Lauren?
Raphael, let's turn now to the coronavirus and its continuing impact here on the Hoosier State. Taking a look at the latest numbers from state health officials, they confirm 1,581 new cases of COVID-19. Since the pandemic began, more than 136,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19. Health officials also confirmed 6 new coronavirus-related deaths. Since the pandemic began, more than 3,500 people here in our state have died with the coronavirus. On Monday, state health officials also updated that school dashboard. Statewide, 422 new student cases were reported, 85 new teacher cases, and 110 new staff cases reported. The school dashboard is updated every Monday at noon.
And those are some key numbers when it comes to the impact of the pandemic on our livelihoods. Let's look at these numbers. Up to 250,000 people in Indiana are at risk of being evicted right now, and that's according to a new study. 150,000 evictions are expected to be filed by January, and that's despite a national moratorium on evictions. Patrick Vick is at risk of being evicted. He lost his tech support job at a software company when businesses first shut down in March, leaving him with no income and no way to pay his rent. After Indiana's statewide moratorium on evictions ended in August, the CDC issued a federal moratorium effective until September the 4th. In order to be eligible, you must use best efforts to obtain all available government assistance for rent or housing, earn no more than $99,000 a year, and be unable to pay rent due to substantial loss of income or hours of work, and use best efforts to make partial payments. Vic, seemingly meeting all the criteria, emailed his landlord this information, but they still moved forward with evicting him.
I literally don't have anywhere to go at the moment. You know, I don't know what people do in that situation. I know that there's 300,000 Hoosiers that are in the same situation, 40 million Americans. And so the fact that we're all about to crash out of the economy and be homeless is mind-boggling to me.
So working for you, we took action here at WRTV. After reaching out to us, we put Vic in touch with the Neighborhood Christian Legal Clinic. It's a free clinic that anyone can use. With their help, he was able to avoid eviction through the end of the year. You can contact with the clinic by going to their website. That's nclegalclinic.org.
At 6:08, a 10-year-old boy from Wabash has died after police say he was stabbed multiple times by his own father. Caden Sendelbach died on Saturday at Riley Hospital. Police say the boy's father, 32-year-old William Sendelbach, and his mother were in an argument when William stabbed Caden. State police say that a Wabash police officer was also shot in this ordeal. He is expected to survive.
Lord, our Democracy 2020 coverage now continues with a look at the race for governor of Indiana. Today, we focus on the Democrats seeking to unseat the Republican incumbent. Dr. Woody Myers is the Democratic candidate for governor in Indiana. In his public life, he previously served as the state's health commissioner under Republican Governor Orr and Democratic Governor Bai. If elected governor, Myers says the budget, education, and dealing with COVID-19 will be among his top priorities.
Today, even, Raphael, we don't have a mask mandate. We have a mask suggestion because there's no teeth behind it. And if we don't renew that tomorrow or the next day, if we don't really enforce that, we'll have chaos throughout the state. That's what leadership means. You set a policy, you follow it, you help people understand why it's the case, and then you move forward.
Now, the Attorney General wrote an opinion on the issue of the mask mandate, saying that really you couldn't do that because you would need the legislature to return to enforce it. I mean, you could call for a mandate, but you couldn't enforce a mandate because legally it was not constitutional. Do you disagree with Attorney General Hill?
Not only do I disagree with that opinion, other attorneys that are of stature in the profession disagree with it.
More of my interview with Dr. Woody Myers tonight on the news at 6. Tomorrow we'll hear from Libertarian candidate Donald Rainwater. Yesterday we heard from the incumbent governor Eric Holcomb. All of the interviews are posted right now on our website, WRTV.com. This all part of our Democracy 2020 coverage.
Well, Eva Kor set out to teach Hoosiers about eugenics, the Holocaust, and the power of forgiveness. Coming up, how she'll be memorialized here in downtown Indianapolis.
President Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden will not take that debate stage tonight. So coming up, our political insiders weigh in on the impact of that canceled debate. But first, let's check in with our very own Todd Clausen on this Tuesday morning. Good morning, TK.
Raphael, good morning to you. The leaves changing in full force here across central Indiana as we're getting very close to near peak conditions across the area. So as we go throughout the next couple days, we'll have great opportunities with plenty of sunshine to get out there and do a little leaf peeping or leaf watching, of whatever you want to call it. We'll talk about the sunshine that's heading our way with the comfortable temperatures coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues right here on WRTV.
In our Democracy 2020 coverage, the presidential debate set for Thursday is, of course, now off, and the Supreme Court nomination is still on and remains on track. This morning, our political insiders have plenty to say.
It is time for our political insiders. The issue on the table right now, Supreme Court nominee Amy Coney Barrett in hearings. It seems to be like a done deal. Why bother with all of these hearings?
This time people are already voting and they're giving this woman a hearing. It's outrageous.
There certainly should be hearings, whether it's a done deal or not. Frankly, I think the American people are going to make their voice heard on this one.
She's a brilliant jurist, a brilliant legal mind. She's well qualified. She deserves the hearing. She deserves to be on the court.
It's reminding us all of why we all hate Washington and why Americans hate Washington. I don't think it really brings out the best in our government and in our elected officials.
No second debate between Mr. Trump and Mr. Biden. Does it matter, and who does it benefit?
I think there may not be a lot of appetite for the type of debate that Donald Trump wants. And so by picking up his toys and going home, I think it makes him look really petty and very small.
He's losing this election. And so you don't give up 90 minutes of free airtime on every major network when you're down in the polls.
This is inures to the benefit of Joe Biden. He's got a lead. Donald Trump can't break through unless he figures out a way to break through, and this is his chance in a debate.
But the fact that we can't have leaders that can have a discussion without the use of a mute button, like it's a Real Housewives show, is clearly a loss for us.
Our political insiders, our Democracy 2020 coverage continues right now on WRTV.
And my full exchange with the insiders also includes a discussion on the violence in Indianapolis as well as the mask mandate. That and much more posted right now on our website, WRTV.com. Lauren?
Well, Raphael, a new source of water for people all across central Indiana is set to begin operations this spring. Citizens Energy Group shared this sneak peek of the Citizens Reservoir along Oleo Road in Fishers. President and CEO Jeffrey Harrison says the 3 billion gallon reservoir will fulfill the growing demand and create a more resilient water supply.
This reservoir will provide some 30 million gallons per day and really insulate our 8-county service area from droughts, and then provide water for what we're seeing as tremendous growth over the next few decades.
Citizen says the 3 billion gallon reservoir will be the largest new reservoir here in central Indiana in almost 60 years.
She was a great lady, an influential figure with Hoosier ties, who will soon be honored with a piece of art in downtown Indianapolis. Work is now underway on a mural for Eva Moses Kaur on the south wall of the 500 Festival Building on Virginia Avenue. Kaur, a Holocaust survivor who believed in forgiveness, she lived in Terre Haute for 59 years. She died last year at the age of 85, and that mural is expected to be finished by the end of next month. She was definitely a light in our world. And Todd Clausen, on this Tuesday, I think you have plenty of sunlight in our forecast.
We do. We have lots of sunshine in the forecast today, Raphael. In fact, it'll be pretty hard-pressed to find some clouds throughout the day today, with the exception of the morning. This morning, there's a little bit of patchy fog out there, and fog obviously is just a cloud close to the ground. But the good news is once the sun gets higher above the horizon, we'll burn any fog that's out there off very, very quickly. It's a great afternoon with sunshine above normal temperatures. Then this evening, it is clear, but just know once the sun starts to set this evening, the temperatures will cool off very, very quickly. Here are your visibilities this morning, and you see all this shaded in area with the gray. That is reduced visibility. They're not terrible here, though, this morning. The worst of it all morning long has been in Shelby County. So if you're on I-74 there, going through Shelby County, maybe in between Indy and Cincinnati, just give yourself a little bit of extra time. Bloomington, not too much of an issue, as you see there. But boy, it is a lot colder this morning compared to yesterday. In fact, we're running 21 degrees colder this morning than we were yesterday when we were in the 60s. So where does this put temperatures? It puts us in the 30s and 40s this morning. 43 in Indy, 37 from Greencastle to Terre Haute, Peru. You're at 40 degrees. And as we work your way over into the Greenfield area, 38. Where do we go from here? Well, that's the good news. Once the sun comes up, while we're in the 40s and you definitely need a jacket the first few hours this morning, our temperatures will moderate very quickly once the sun is up, and we should be around 60 degrees by the noon hour. And then high temperatures will continue to warm into the afternoon hours all the way up to right around 70 degrees. There's the cold front that gave us that quick little burst of needed rainfall across the area. We could have used a little bit more. Simply just unfortunately didn't happen for us. 69 today in Logansport, 71 in Frankfort, as well as Martinsville and Shelbyville. Highs in the southern locations right around 71 to 72 degrees as well. This evening, I mentioned the cool down. Look at this, into the 50s already by about 8, 9 o'clock. And then tomorrow morning, as you wake up, temperatures will be very similar to today in the 40s. And tomorrow, it's a warmer day for us again. We get up into the mid 70s. The trade-off tomorrow, though, is going to be a pretty gusty wind that is going to kick up throughout the afternoon hours. So while it will be warmer, it will also be windier. Keep that in mind. Thursday, another cold front comes through, very similar to yesterday. Some scattered showers, primarily in the afternoon hours, quick burst of rain. And then behind that front, much cooler weather Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but plenty of sunshine for any weekend plans. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Let's take a look at traffic right now, which is pretty quiet for your Tuesday morning commute. This is I-69 and Campus Parkway up in Fishers. Good morning to you in Hamilton County. No problems here as traffic on I-69 is traveling up to speed both northbound and southbound. So if you're using I-69 to get to or from the Indianapolis area, maybe you're in Noblesville, Fishers, Pendleton, you shouldn't have any problems right now for your morning commute. Raphael?
Lauren, happening today, Apple will announce its latest lineup of new products. Are you getting excited about this? The tech giant delayed its iPhone launch due to the pandemic, and many expect some really big news. Experts predict that we'll see the first major exterior design change of the iPhone since 2017. Apple is also expected to announce at least 4 different models at different price levels. At least one of the iPhones expected to support 5G technology, which does allow for faster download times.
Well, Microsoft says it's stopping a hacking operation that could have impacted the upcoming election. The company says that it took down servers behind a TrickBot after receiving a court order. TrickBot is a huge malware network that allows hackers to launch potentially dangerous ransomware into vulnerable computers. Ransomware could have been used to control websites containing election information.
So how much do you love your favorite musician? How much? Coming up, the love one fan has for one artist that put her in the record books. Lauren, I can't wait to see how much you love your music.
I was just thinking that, I don't know, not that much, I guess. Plus, grab your wine. We are just hours away from the most mysterious season of The Bachelorette ever. Yeah, coming up, Claire Crawley is live on Good Morning America. Good morning to you here in Lebanon, Liston, and Lapel. The time right now is 6:21. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. Stick around. Welcome back. The time right now is 6:24. Raphael, it is time to talk about what is trending at 6.
So who is your favorite musician, Lauren Casey?
Oh, I don't even know. This is putting me on the spot here, Raphael.
Okay, well, as you know, right, because we know all the folks that watch, Beyonce and J-Lo and Axl Rose, they're friends of Good Morning Indiana. Well, they also watch from afar, right, in my own mind. So a woman from Scotland, speaking of someone from afar, she earned a rather unique world record. I want you to meet Nikki Patterson. I don't want you to confuse her with our own Nicole here at RTV. She's a big Eminem fan. She's a super fan status because she has 16 tattoo portraits of the rapper and 12 more that are Eminem themed. Guinness World Records recently gave her the title of the most tattoos of the same musician tattooed on the body. The 35-year-old says she got her first Eminem ink when she was 19 years old. Again, this is Nikki Patterson, not Nicole Griffin of WRTV, in case I don't want you to get confused on a Tuesday morning.
Right. Very important to note there. Big fan, as you can see. So, Rafael, a Japanese tourist in Peru waited a really long time to see the ancient Inca citadel of Machu Picchu. More than 7 months he waited. Jesse here arrived in March only to find the heritage site closed because of the coronavirus outbreak. He's been stranded in that country since then and finally got to see the stone ruins after submitting a special request. The site is expected to reopen, however, in November. Hope it was worth the wait.
I would like to visit that place at some point when it's okay to do so. I hear it's really cool to see that. And Lauren, today is our first check of the fall foliage here in central Indiana. This is a picture from Nicole Darnell. This is a view of Eagle Creek in Indianapolis from Saturday. Check that out. I just want to get out of my living room and just go head out to Eagle Creek right now. Over the next few days, I'll share some photos sent to me on Facebook of the fall foliage throughout central Indiana. Todd Clausen, that is simply breathtaking.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful. And a lot of the trees changing across central Indiana. Obviously, I was on my bike down in Garfield Park, just south of Indianapolis the other day and riding the trails there. And beautiful there as well. So get out and enjoy the foliage changing. Today would be a great day to do so, whether you're just driving or going for a walk through the neighborhood or a bike ride. Above normal temperatures with mostly sunny skies. 69 today in Peru, 70 in Indianapolis, 71 the high temperature in Bloomington. Tomorrow we're even warmer, getting closer to 80 degrees once again, but tomorrow's going to be a pretty windy day, followed by a pretty strong cold front that's going to come through on Thursday. That'll give us another round of showers moving through, and then you notice as we head into Friday and Saturday, temperatures going to be well below normal, as we'll be in the 50s and 60s for your afternoon highs. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you. Well, it is the day bargain hunters have been waiting for. Amazon's long-awaited Prime Day is finally here, and so this morning our John Matarese is working for you. He's breaking down how you can get the best deals so you don't waste your money.
Amazon Prime Day is finally here with big markdowns for 2 straight days. But this year, don't limit your shopping to just Amazon because other retailers are fighting back with sales of their own. With Thanksgiving night sales canceled this year and possibly even Black Friday itself, Amazon Prime Day is more important than ever. DealNews.com has 3 great tips for scoring big savings. 1, if you want any Amazon home items, these are some of the lowest prices of the year. Look for 40% off many Alexa devices, Ring doorbells, Fire Sticks, and Kindles. 2, with deals changing hourly, Deal News says make watch lists. And 3, check prices at Best Buy and Target for their competing sales. Best Buy's early Black Friday will have 65 and 70-inch TVs as low as $550. Walmart will have 50-inch TVs as low as $200. And Target's deal days will have big markdowns on beauty and home products.
From the station working for you, this is Good Morning Indiana, streaming now.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday morning, we're taking a look at your 6:30 news feed, and we do want to start things off with breaking news we're following this morning. Metro Police are at the scene of a shooting. This is on Bordeaux Court near 62nd and Allisonville Road on the city's north side. One person there was taken to the hospital in serious condition. Our own Shea Goodpaster is at the scene right now. He's working to learn more from police. Of course, we'll bring you the very latest just as soon as we get it.
A 61-year-old woman from Westfield has died after drowning at a campground. The State Department of Natural Resources says that Donna Kishbaugh was reported missing in the water Monday afternoon at the Hidden Paradise campground in Decatur County. The woman was found less than an hour later and died at the scene. The cause of her death is still under investigation.
A Hoosier manufacturing company expanding its engine plant in Seymour. Cummins says it will invest more than $25 million in the plant to help the company launch a new engine platform. Cummins is based in Columbus, and the company says this expansion will help them create or retain more than 150 jobs over the next decade.
Frightening moments for a South Bend mom and her young son caught on camera. 4 men were seen bursting into their home, at least 3 of the men holding guns. And Tamika Reed says she was focused on keeping her kids safe, and her 5-year-old son David did his best to fight back himself. The video quickly went viral and was posted by police to try to get more leads on this developing story. No one was hurt, and police are still looking for the intruders. Welcome to Good Morning Indiana on this Tuesday, October the 13th. I'm Rafael Sanchez.
And Rafael, I'm Lauren Casey. We are monitoring some visibility issues right now, Todd. So what can folks expect as they head out on the roads this Tuesday?
Yeah, you know, there's a little bit of patchy fog out there. It's not super dense. There's no advisories, but it's enough of an issue in some areas, I think, to cause you some issues on the roadways, especially as you work your way through portions of Hancock, Shelby County, and even down into the Columbus area and Bartholomew County, where visibility is down below 1 mile. Not too much of an issue here in the metro area, not too much of an issue in Bloomington. That's the view that you see here. You just have to look at the lights and you can see them pretty far off in the distance. So visibility not an issue there. As far as temperatures go, a lot colder than it was yesterday morning. That's for sure. A lot of 30s on the map from Lafayette to Terre Haute. 43 in Indianapolis. Peru, you're sitting right at 40 degrees. We had that rain move through yesterday evening. That was part of a cold front. It went through very quickly. The wind kind of kicked up. Things have calmed down now, though. The wind not much of an issue with the clear skies. And the good news is, with plenty of sunshine in the forecast, once we get rid of this patchy fog this morning, we're left with a sun-filled day from start to finish. It's really a beautiful day for us. 60 degrees by time we get to the noon hour. Our normal high temperature this time of year is 66 degrees. We should top off in the low 70s this afternoon, and then by 5 p.m. we'll see those temperatures fall back down into the upper 60s. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thank you. We do have a traffic alert for drivers on the south side right now. You can't see it from our camera here. This is at I-465 and Madison Avenue. But as you're in this spot and you're traveling westbound, we do have a report now of a crash between US 31 and the Harding Street exit, blocking the right lane. So just be aware of that. You'll want to scoot over to the middle lane or the left lane and use caution. Just a little bit of a delay down there on the south side as you get past the East Street exit, but overall traffic is still moving, so that is good news. Of course, we'll keep you updated. It is 6:32 on your Tuesday, and it's day 2 of the Supreme Court confirmation hearing for Judge Amy Coney Barrett. It's kicking off just hours from now as Senate Republicans are trying to get the Notre Dame law professor confirmed before the November election.
And so, Lauren, 2 major issues, health care and abortion, are expected to be a primary focus of today's questioning. The hearing opened on Monday with statements from Judge Barrett and members of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Republicans accused Democrats on the committee of targeting the judge over her Catholic faith, but Democratic senators focused instead on health care. They pointed to Judge Barrett's previous writings that criticized the Supreme Court for upholding the Affordable Care Act.
But what your political opponents want to paint you as is a TV or cartoon version of a religious radical.
Placing Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg with someone who will undo her legacy. President Trump is attempting to roll back Americans' rights for decades to come.
The Trump administration is currently challenging whether the Affordable Care Act is constitutional before the Supreme Court. That court case is scheduled to be heard by the Supreme Court in November, following the presidential election. And a reminder, you can watch Amy Coney Barrett's confirmation hearing each day right here at WRTV.com. You could also watch WRTV's coverage on your streaming device such as Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, as well as Apple TV. A warning this morning from the FBI before you head out to the polls, especially weeks before the big election. Scammers may be targeting you before you cast your vote. Officials say that scammers are using fake websites and email addresses to pose as legitimate election resources. Now, that could lead to you giving away personal information or having your computer infected with malware. To avoid becoming a victim, the FBI says to check the spelling of websites and email addresses. Oftentimes, scammers use a .com instead of a .gov, or they use misspelled words. Remember, never give out any personal information via email. Lauren?
And Raphael, starting this morning, Indiana will be in its second week of early in-person voting. That continues through November 2nd, the day before the election. And so far, tens of thousands of Hoosiers have already cast their ballots. In Marion County alone, the clerk's office says 8,000 people, 328, have already cast their vote early. That number was updated on Sunday. Around 5,500 people voted during the same time period in 2016. Statewide, the Secretary of State's office says that as of last Friday, more than 230,000 Hoosiers have already returned absentee ballots in the mail. And you can find a list of early voting sites, dates, and times in your own county by visiting Vote in 2020. It's our digital section of our website, WRTV.com.
We have more news on this Tuesday morning. It gives more power to civilians, but it's being criticized by some police officers. Next, what the proposal passed by the City County Council means for you. And only on WRTV, reaction from the Chief of Police. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV. After a long debate, a plan to give civilians more power over police policy in Indianapolis, Lauren, has been approved.
That's right. The City County Council voted in favor of that controversial plan following the high-profile police shootings here in our city. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with reaction to the vote and what this means for you. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning. So it was a late night last night for the City County Council. They were there, the vote not coming in until just before midnight last night to approve Proposal 237. That vote coming in at 19-6 after very contentious conversations. So the plan adds 4 civilians to IMPD's General Orders Committee. That committee is tasked with overseeing the department's policies and procedures, including everything from uniforms to internal affairs and deadly use of force investigations. Pastor Clyde Posley of Faith in Indiana, who was in favor of the proposal, he says it is a step in the right direction of rebuilding trust between the community and the police.
I think that the cornerstone of any great democracy is shared governance. It doesn't, and I mean shared. It doesn't take anything away. I've worked with Faith in Indy in this process of developing this. In no way is it designed in any way to take anything away from the police department, what job they are doing. It is simply the people who are being policed asking to have a say in how it's done. There is no interest in defunding. There's no interest in dismantling the police. I wouldn't want to be in any state where there are no police, but I deserve the right to be protected and served and have a say-so in how I'm protected and served, and that is done well.
So we also talked to the president of the Indy Fraternal Order of Police, Rick Snyder, and he says while he welcomes civilian input, the proposal goes too far in stripping the chief of police of their power, saying, quote, "You now don't have a chief of police, you have an advisor of police. This board will direct the police department, and it's alarming to know it will be done with people who have zero law enforcement background." Now, there was an amendment added last night to the proposal saying that people with felony convictions cannot serve on the board, and then also that board members will have to go through the Civilian Police Academy and other training so they can better understand law enforcement practices and policies. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, WRTV.
And Kelsey, our coverage continues on this key issue because this morning we have reaction from the Metro Police Chief. He voiced his opposition to that plan, but he was prepared for that vote from city leaders who stripped a portion of his authority.
If civilians are pretty much determining policy and procedures, do we need a police chief?
Well, you still don't need a police chief. So you kind of went down that path, almost like is my power being cut. I could look at it that way, and I'm not looking forward to that. But I'm also optimistic that I can work with whatever group I have in order to make things happen.
I've known you well enough to know that you are someone who obviously is passionate about his job and is respectful of the process. But is it respectful to put civilians who have no knowledge of what you do, other than maybe watching episodes of Law and Order, to really tell a police department, a major police department in one of the largest cities in America, how to conduct their business?
I'll just have to do my best to work with those civilians and make sure that they're as knowledgeable as they can about decisions they're making, and I'll have to be more vocal with them if I have those concerns.
My full conversation with the chief is currently posted on our website, WRTV.com. The chief goes on to tell me that he will remain very positive on this issue and that he is committed to working with that civilian group once it is formed. Now, later this afternoon, we expect to hear from the police chief and the mayor of Indianapolis at a news conference, which will be focused on reducing violence in Indianapolis. Let's keep talking about public safety on this Tuesday morning. The City County Council also approved an increase of $7.7 million in IMPD funding. Here's a look at the breakdown of how those dollars will be spent. $2.7 million will be used for body cameras, leases, and legal settlements. About $1.1 million will be used for vehicles and equipment. The largest portion, $3.3 million, will cover personnel costs, including the full funding of 1,743 officers. The only change to IMPD's budget request was an amendment requiring the department to report to the council's expenses related to its mental health unit.
The time right now is 6:43. A newborn baby is safe after being surrendered in a safe haven baby box. Authorities say the infant was dropped off last week at Fire Station 74 in Decatur Township. The baby is the 5th to be surrendered in safe haven baby boxes this year and the 9th since November 2017. The box at this fire station in Decatur Township was the 3rd installed in the United States. Baby boxes have alarm systems on them that notify 911 just as soon as the baby is placed inside. The boxes also have heating and cooling features. Indiana's safe haven law allows a parent to bring a child who is 30 days old or younger to an employee at a hospital, emergency room, manned fire station, or law enforcement agency without facing prosecution for endangering or abandoning a child.
An alarming rise in coronavirus cases here in our state. Next, the warning from doctors reminding Hoosiers that life is a long way from being back to normal. But first, before you head out to that bus stop, let's check in with Todd Clausen on this Tuesday morning.
Yeah, there's a little bit of patchy fog out there, Raphael, across parts of the area. No dense fog advisories, no school delays, so the fog not dense enough for that, but it could cause some issues out there as you take to the roadways. Otherwise, mainly clear skies. 43 degrees as the kids head off to school. Definitely need the jacket, but a beautiful afternoon for everybody, no matter where you are, with sunshine and temperatures in the 60s and 70s. We'll talk about this Tuesday and look ahead to the rest of your work week coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. Turning now to the latest on the coronavirus's impact on our state. For the 6th day in a row, the state health department is reporting more than 1,000 new cases of COVID-19. The department reported 1,581 new cases in their latest report on Monday. That brings Indiana's total case count to more than 136,000. 6 additional deaths were also reported. To date, more than 3,500 Hoosiers have died with COVID-19.
And Raphael, the rising coronavirus numbers come at about 2.5 weeks since Indiana entered stage 5 of our state's Back on Track plan. Since Friday, there have been nearly 7,000 additional COVID-19 cases reported. Experts say the reopening and loosening of restrictions does not mean that Hoosiers should relax when it comes to social distancing or masking up.
We still need to practice social distancing and should be masking, and we need to make sure that we're taking care of each other, because otherwise the hospitals could get overrun this winter.
State Department of Health says it's providing more than $30 million in funding to increase access to COVID testing over the next 2 years.
So listen up. If you run a community garden, it may be a farm stand or something similar that helps feed people in your neighborhood, you could be eligible right now for some financial help. So is this you? A new grant program called the Indy Food Fund will offer between $500 and $10,000. The deadline to apply is Friday, October the 30th. You can find a link to the application and a list of requirements by going to WRTV.com and clicking on this story. On this Tuesday, time to check your forecast. Todd, you have a nice day here in central Indiana. Usually it's much cooler than it is on a day like today.
You know, as far as high temperatures go, you're definitely right, Raphael. We continue to run above normal as far as low temperatures. Yesterday, we were in the 60s at this time, and today, more seasonable. We're running anywhere from about 18 to even 27 degrees colder now than it was 24 hours ago. So yesterday, you kind of walked out the door and you're like, hey, this is not too bad for the beginning to middle of October. Well, today, kind of more of a reality check as you get going, as temperatures are running much cooler. In fact, down to 43 degrees right now in Indianapolis. The good news is yesterday when that front went through, we kind of kicked up the wind a little bit. That wind has now calmed down. Not an issue for us this morning, not an issue for us throughout the entire day. These temperatures are in the 30s in Lafayette as well as Greencastle and Terre Haute. Terre Haute down to 36 now, still holding on to 38 in Greenfield. But despite this cool start, we will see our temperatures warm very quickly with complete sunshine throughout the day today. It's a bright day. There's a little bit of patchy fog out there this morning that will burn off, and we'll be left with mostly sunny skies throughout the middle half of the morning hours as temperatures warm through the 40s, eventually through the 50s. Should be right around 60 degrees by the noon hour, and then high temperatures today will be topping off in the upper 60s to right around 70 degrees with the clear skies in place. The cold front, it was a quick mover. That rain was in and out of here yesterday evening. Only 600ths of an inch officially at the airport in Indianapolis. That front now pushing into central Pennsylvania. So highs today will be topping off right around 69 in Peru, 70 in Indianapolis, 71 from Bloomington to Columbus with those beautiful conditions this afternoon and the light winds. Try to get outside, check out the leaves, go for a walk in the neighborhood, maybe hit up a state park or a local park in your neighborhood. Sunset is at 7:08 this evening. Temperatures will fall from the 60s back down into the 50s. So we do cool off very, very quickly. And when you wake up tomorrow morning, temperatures will be in the 40s, very similar to this morning. And tomorrow's a pretty nice day for us once again. A couple differences. One is it's going to be warmer. That's the good news, getting up to about 75, 76 degrees tomorrow. A little more in the way of cloud cover. Tomorrow we'll call it partly cloudy. I think the biggest difference you'll notice tomorrow is today the winds are very calm. Tomorrow they'll kind of kick up a little bit across the area. And it does turn into a pretty breezy day. Thursday, some scattered showers in the afternoon hours, 63 degrees. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, though, beautiful, lots of sunshine. But note the temperatures, 30s in the morning, then 50s in the afternoon hours, then eventually up to 61 degrees on Sunday. So while it's a bright weekend, it is going to be cooler with temperatures going back below normal. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We do have a traffic alert for drivers right now down on the south side. Here's a look at the backup on the westbound lanes of I-465. This is a view near Madison Avenue. The slowdowns are between I-65 all the way over to Harding Street. A crash is blocking the right lane of westbound traffic at 465 and the Harding Street exit, so you'll have to slow down and go over to the middle or left lane as you travel through that area. Give yourself some extra time. The good news is things are still moving. It's not at a complete standstill at this time. Raphael?
Lauren, it was the end of the Mirrorbald Road last night for another couple. But you don't have to say goodbye just yet. Coming up on Good Morning America here on WRTV, the duo saying goodbye to Dancing with the Stars will make an appearance you don't want to miss. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on WRTV.
It is 6:55 on this Tuesday morning. Here's some of your top stories today on Good Morning Indiana.
Lauren, we continue to follow breaking news from the city's north side. Let's take you there right now. Here is a live look from our photojournalist, Shay Goodpaster. Metro Police are still on the scene, as you can see, of a shooting on Bordeaux Court near 62nd and Allisonville Road, this in Indianapolis. All we know so far is that the person was taken to the hospital in serious condition. We'll bring you the very latest as soon as we learn it on the WRTV app as well as WRTV.com.
And a plan to give the public more say in police policy has now been approved by the Indianapolis City County Council. Proposal 237 passed after a contentious debate. The plan to add civilians to IMPD's General Orders Committee was praised by some community groups who've called for reform to this following the recent police shootings. The head of the police union representing the officers says the plan goes too far, saying it essentially strips the power away from the police chief. Let's get a check right now of our forecast. Todd Clausen is standing by. And Todd, what can people expect for their Tuesday?
You know, there's a little bit of patchy fog out there this morning. No advisories, no school delays or anything like that, but it is reduced enough in some spots where I think you need to pay attention just a little bit. It's not an issue in downtown Indianapolis, but as you work your way, especially on I-74 in between, I would say the south side of Indy and then eventually the Shelby County, that's probably where the worst of this fog is. And as far as going forward throughout the day today, lots of sunshine. Will warm all the way up to right around 70 degrees for your afternoon high. Today may be the best weather day of the week. It's going to be a little bit warmer tomorrow, but it's going to be pretty windy for your Wednesday. So that kind of offsets that high temperature of 76 degrees. Tomorrow's still a dry day. Thursday, we start off with some sunshine, then a cold front will come through with around the scattered showers, very similar to yesterday with a quick little burst of rain. But look at the temperatures behind that front, especially Friday and Saturday morning into the 30s. In fact, Saturday, some areas, especially to the north, could get below freezing. It's going to be that chilly. Saturday's high is 59, then back up to 61 on Sunday. The good news, even though it's a little below normal for the weekend, Lauren, lots of sunshine Friday through Sunday.
All right, Todd, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us. We're back here in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America with local news, weather, and your traffic updates. All your news can be found throughout the day on the WRTV mobile app. Thanks for watching.